Welcome everybody to the Ting finals. I do have to fix this camera. So.
Yeah, shoes on the other foot now.
Well, usually you don't want me to use the camera, so you never have to have it.
But we'll see if the FPS holds up for it or not. But okay, guys, girls, ladies and gentlemen, first off, I don't know if you're watching from the front page. We should have some bit of time for that. But if you're just tuning in as regular BaseTradeTV viewers who are here at the start of the stream because you're diligent, awesome people, good morning. And I was going over the stats. Zombie, did you know that because it's a PvP finals, it guarantees the first time a Protoss player will win the Ting Open?
Yes, I think I knew that. Yeah.
Well, I didn't until about 10 minutes ago, and I actually think that's really interesting because we did see Neeb in the finals last season, and he lost to Gumiho live at the Corsair headquarters. But season 1 was Rogue, really one-sided.
Yep.
What do you mean?
Go ahead.
Oh, then of course Beyond. I actually wasn't there for that finals, and that totally sucked. But Beyond vs Solar was a 5-4. Still Terran champion. Gumiho following up with a 5-2 last season. Terran champion. This season, PvP in the finals, DNS versus Neeb. It guarantees a Protoss. Finally joining the ranks of the Ting champions.
It's not too surprising. Protoss has always had trouble getting actual tournament victories until Neeb came along. And Neeb didn't quite perform well enough against Gumiho earlier this year, but then quickly became the best foreigner ever with 3 WCS titles.
I'm not sure who's set the bets for this, but just if you guys haven't read the schedule, dear moderators, it is the third place match first, Impact versus Denver, a best of 5. Then it'll be Jesse versus myself in a best of 3. And then Neeb versus DNS in a grand finals. So I see that bets have been set for Rifkin versus Jesse, but that's not happening until after this first series today.
Yeah. You didn't want them to veto the best of 5, right? Like ABC. You just said best of 5 veto.
Yeah, I don't remember. What? What's the question? Hello? Where am I? Who am I?
Yesterday we had them do veto on a 1 loser's pick, but...
Well, that's because it's best of 7. This is best of 5. So I figure they each want like 1 veto.
So it is just ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They got it now. They Gucci. Cool. So yeah, it is going to be the third place match, Denver versus Impact, and we do have vetoes underway right now. Here's my cat. For those that like my cat.
Jealous.
You know.
I got to turn the stream on. I don't get to just watch your cat while no one else does for once. I'm a cat pleb. Oh, he's like face down. He's so cute. God damn it, Apollo.
He is the cutest. He was cuddling with me. And you see that mouse behind me? That one? He brings it upstairs. He brings it upstairs whenever he wants to cuddle. It's like his safety blanket.
That is actually super freaking adorable. I can't even.
I know.
But, hey, BSK, Black Spade Kamui, thank you for the start to our day. 200 little birthday bits coming in. Says, hope your training went well, Rifkin. I got to do no training. I had to do fucking chores and errands all day yesterday. You guys have to understand, I have not played Versus, aka 1v1, in 2 seasons. This is the least I've ever, like, I've been playing co-op every week, to be clear, so I know how to play StarCraft still, but as far as 1v1s go, that plus the patch, this is Jesse's first time he might actually beat me in the show match series. I'm a little bit scared, I'm gonna be honest.
No, it'll be fine. See, you have the power of just unpredictability.
Yes. And battlecruisers. Let's not forget about those. Even the stalkers are better than ever, and battlecruisers are probably a bad idea. You know you're going to see them at least once today.
Yeah, of course. Are we ready to go? Because I'm ready to go.
Absolutely.
Cool.
Catalyst to kick off the tournament.
Awesome. There it is. Wowzers.
Ooh. This is actually going to be great. We've seen all PVZs through the round of 8, through both of the semifinals. It's almost weird to say. It's refreshing to get a ZvZ.
We'll see. In the bottom right, as we get into this best of 5, it is the Red Zerg Denver.
Guy's been hella impressive lately. His opponent to the top left, gonna be Dead Pixel's Blue Zerg Impact. And ooh, Impact slapping down that early pool. I tweeted about this actually just off the BaseTradeTV account this morning too. The play from yesterday's semifinals made it to Reddit, and Denver versus DNS with that probe kill with the burrowed Banelings has actually surpassed all of Zest's Warp Prism Micro, all of Stats' Warp Prism. Like, he has become the most viewed clip on the channel.
I mean, it was a pretty cool moment. I don't know if it was cooler than Zest Micro or any other Baneling bombs we've seen. Maybe there's some like foreigner bias there.
No, you know what it is? Everyone's been feeling the pain of Protoss in this patch, and they're like, finally, some justice.
It was like cathartic for them to see that many probes go down. Got it. Well, this is going to be quite a whirlwind. Denver better get his things correct right now, because there are going to be lings. We're
in Central Server, aren't we?
Yes, yes. Yeah, we should be. Well, this makes things very awkward.
Well, as long as you had build orders disabled, then it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I did. I mean, there's no match history. That's automatic.
Okay, well, awkward start to the series, but that's fine. Gives me time to hop on Twitter and do retweets and things.
Yeah, very awkward.
Okay, so we're going to remake it real quick. There is a tweet that is out that is more important than sharing the tournament, that is more important than liking pictures of cats. It is a poll. And the question is, do you guys want... I talked to Jesse about this, because we did this live at the Corsair headquarters. It was kind of fun, but we don't want people to like get offended or something. But we did like a legit smack talk session before our match. It wasn't broadcast to the stream, so only people who were live at the Corsair headquarters last season finals got to see it. But we had a pretty good smack talk session. So the question is, through this poll, do you guys want us to do another smack talk session prior to our matches?
It's up for them to answer.
I voted yes. I just want to school Jesse with the...
I mean...
smack talk. If I can't win the best of 3, I want to win the smack talk. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like the smack talk between you guys is going to be like, yeah, you suck. No, you suck. And then you do something kind of clever, and then Jesse kind of laughs and then doesn't have anything to respond with, and that's it. So I feel like it could be done during the series. I don't know if we need an entire session.
Ooh. Real quick before you do this, Minty Fizz is saying my mic sounds a little off, crackling and mic drops. Does anyone else hear that, or is that just a...
Oh yeah, I hear that.
Oh. What does it sound like so I can figure out how to fix this on my end?
It's exactly what he said, crackling.
Okay, I'll be right back. You do the intros.
All right. In the bottom right, as the blue Zerg, it is Impact, not changing from his build. And in the top left, as the red Zerg, he is Denver. His match history was off. There's no chance to see the build orders. So Impact feels safe to do it again. Denver has no idea what he was planning on doing last game, and he still has no idea what he's planning to do this game until he sees that Overlord, unless that Overlord gets to the natural base, or he sees the lings, that is. So he's taking his own base. I mean, this is expected. He's going to play a macro game. He had no thoughts of aggression of his own, which puts him in a potentially difficult position. There's like pros and cons, believe it or not, to getting a macro-oriented build here.
Okay, how's this, by the way? Is this any better?
I guess so. Probably have to continue casting.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
Just let me know if you hear it so I can fiddle and fix.
Yeah, this isn't the greediest that he could do. He didn't add a bunch of drones before adding that gas, or adding the pool actually, but it is still that macro first what I was talking about. It's like, in a way, it can actually help out. You can get that second queen basically on time with each other, which is kind of a nice benefit. If you go for a pool first, they're a little more staggered. And then, of course, you can try and get a spine crawler up in the natural base, but that doesn't usually work out. And if things go badly, but not quite badly enough, you still have a chance to win because you have another hatchery. But we'll see how this goes. Impact did fully commit to speed here, but no Bane. Okay, he's going to make a Baneling nest. Keeping most of those guys in gas.
I find this really interesting because, well, Impact is doing his build, obviously. Denver's actually really good at these scrappy early game engagements. Granted, versus Protoss is what we've seen a lot of, but I think he could do it here, man.
Well, A-Lings are on the way. Drones are being pulled. He wants to try and save that hatchery, but the queens are going to be popping out for a long time. Lings pop out to try and help the drones, and so far, so good. Only one drone has been lost. A lot of them are very weak, though, and they're instantly popped off the second one.
So I just bring this up too because I had to go confirm the score. I couldn't remember if it was 3-1 or 3-0. But quick reminder that this is actually a rematch of the qualifier group where Denver 3-0'd Impact. And there was an equally early pool in that series too. So far so good with the Queens out. This is looking very holdable. Being a hatchery up is the advantage. Honestly, not that many drones for now, so Impact's still got a little wiggle room to make something done with these banelings. But I mean, honestly, this is looking good for Denver.
Yeah, it could all kind of turn on its head really quickly, but the Spine Crawler even making its way down to plant itself is looking like a very stable hold. As long as there's any focus fire whatsoever on the banelings, this should be enough. Unfortunately, Lings... Oh, that was awkward. There probably should have been a better baneling hit on Denver's Lings than there was, but it doesn't really matter about killing the Lings so much as you really want to get some damage, any damage on the Spine Crawler and Queens, but if you only get this much, I mean, that's an easy transfuse. Second round's gonna come in here, but it's not looking any stronger.
It's like that one co-op mission with the Void Shards. You got that guy's, the clock's ticking.
It really
Impact
is.
really has to do this with this attack. There's not gonna really be a follow-up. There's not enough, I guess, on the odd chance there's barely squeezed between the Spine Crawler and the Hatchery, maybe between killing both those things, some Lings, like he could do enough damage to equalize this. The drone count, the drone lead, not as big of a deal as it might look, but looks like he's going to go for what I described. Not quite going to be good enough. Takes out the Spine Crawler. Queens are left without any fodder, though. That one Queen is actually in a great spot at the bottom of the ramp, really reducing that surface area. There's those transfuses. They got to focus fire down the banelings, though.
Yeah, well, if they do that, then the splash affects them. The transfuse isn't quite ready on that second Queen. 2 more seconds and it would have been ready. It is now to help out this one Queen, I suppose. Not a lot of Lings are left over for Impact, however, and he's rallying from his own main base. Can take him quite a while. Denver might be able to win with the Fair's advantage, but not having any more Queens is pretty bad.
Drone pulls can deal with the amount of Lings that are left over. The downside for Denver, though, is he's really just slugging along here. He doesn't have speed. He's relying on banelings. I don't think he can defend this hatchery, and Impact killing this hatchery might be enough to actually bring him back in this game.
Yeah, Denver also went for banelings instead of speed and still doesn't really want to afford speed. It's a big investment of minerals, even though he has the gas. The hatchery,
though.
Yeah, I mean, it's a guaranteed kill at this point. So just try and end the game for real.
I gotta keep those banelings out of the mineral lines. Drones on that whole position's a really nice move. Denies the baneling hit that Impact wanted so badly. But oh, he pulls a little bit late. Gets some good splash damage. Impact still sitting here with these Zerglings. One more baneling left for Denver to try and clean up with this mess.
Oh, not focus firing quite right. Oh, but Denver wastes that baneling. He doesn't have any more Lings to protect his now weak drones, and that's going to be game.
I think that's it, yeah. Hatchery did go down. Queen pops. Drone counts at 10 minus. GG.
Looked so promising at the beginning, but those 2 Queens, not enough support for them once the Spine Crawler went down. Maybe should have tried transfusing it twice if he had it, but I know.
Well, it was pretty close. I mean, the thing is, banelings are so bursty. It's really hard to knock them on it, right?
Yeah. All right, successful.
It's not like a shield battery after all.
I feel bad because I'm like so not on the ribbing of the shield battery as you are. Like, I know you're not actually complaining, but you keep on like ribbing on it. Like, you keep on doing like the elbow nudge to me, and I'm just like, quit it. Like, I don't wanna.
Yeah, I think it's more fun to complain about the shield battery than to actually complain about the shield battery, if that makes sense. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Anytime you guys hear me talking about the shield battery, it's always half sarcasm, half serious. And I do like where it's at in the game. It's just funny watching how powerful it is. And I was kicked from the lobby?
I said sorry.
Talk about rude?
You know, they really shouldn't put the remove from lobby and make spectator button right next to each other.
Yeah, or promote from host and remove next to each other either. That's another stupid one.
God.
But yeah. Battle on the Boardwalk, gonna be the next map. So gonna see some gold-based dynamic possibly come into this game.
You know, it really could have been Battle of the Boardwalk.
I think it rolls off the tongue better, right? Am I just crazy?
No, I almost always say Battle of the Boardwalk first. But I say it fast enough, maybe no one will notice, just like Twitch chat. In the top left, as the blue Zerg, it is Pixel's Impact.
Also, thanks for telling me that my tie was over my shoulder for no reason. Deadly Mean Machine, thank you for the prime sub. And in the top right, we've got the Red Zerg, Denver.
What?
I don't remember what we did for server preference. I think he's thinking it's loser's pick for server side. But I, honest to God, don't remember what we did before.
Well, we didn't actually,
Game paused.
I guess, do the rules here again.
I think not doing server... I think doing server preference is fine, because it's not map pick for the loser, right?
So we are going to swap between East and West.
Well, Central and East, I guess.
No, because the loser's preference would be Impact West. Right? I'm asking you.
I'd say just keep it all in Central then. Make it easier.
I mean, if Impact agreed to like West East, like you could do that too.
Welcome to the professional showdown on BaseTradeTV. The grand finals match.
They clarify. I actually for the finals it shouldn't be that complicated because Neebs will be glad to do it on East. So that's the good news. But we do have Korea versus Europe, which is the worst. And I think it was Mana's best of versus Impact. Oh, that's why I was Impact is confused. Like Mana just was like, let's do all Central. I don't care.
We should actually talk about that a little bit too. So there's a weird dynamic with Impact being here, of course. You guys probably saw he lost to Mana. Mana was supposed to advance. Mana had to forfeit / honorably disqualify. So Impact took his place. Right now, the default settings, thanks to everybody at Match Reno, has 4th place at $250.25. 3rd place at $500.50. This value is big for Denver. It's less big for Impact. One of Impact's conditions to being revived was he would only receive 40% of the additional new prize money he would have gotten past where he died in the tournament. The rest of it would be redistributed. So there's actually quite a big difference for Impact here between winning 3rd and 4th. There's already $250 in difference, but then on top of that for Impact, it's like literally 100 or 2 more. So Impact really striving for the best he can here. For Denver, I guess losing's not the worst case, but that's where server's preference is kind of like, if I played on East, would I have won an extra $250? So I can understand the desire to push it.
Yeah, but Central really should be the real middle ground here. Like, Korea to Central is not great either. I guess we could compare pings if we really wanted to get technical, but...
No, we're never going to find... We've always said this, and if you guys don't know the policy, you're never going to find a good middle ground. It's always about finding an equally miserable middle ground.
Yeah. They should both be miserable. That's the point. So Denver takes a gold base on Battle on the Boardwalk, which perhaps is it's probably the exact reason he chose this as his I think this was his map. Anyways, even if he doesn't, he takes advantage of it. Or Impact goes for his own 3rd here. Now, it's very common after taking a fast gold or even a fast 3rd, to be honest, like 3-4 pool, for that player to be aggressive. So as Impact sees the hatcheries late, knows it is an early pool, assumes that it's okay, actually he sees the creep spread, right? He's going to have to be a little cautious about a Ling flood coming to him. So actually he's just making out Lings already and trying to kill Denver. So, that works too.
Well, Denver does have a ramp to choke on, and maybe that 3rd base would be a distraction. For now, though, that bailing, if it pops at just that right time, the downside for Impact, he doesn't know when those started. He does know they're in play, though, so he's got to be careful.
Yeah, he's getting his own Bailey nest, but obviously a little bit later. He did a lot to Lings early on, but now going back into droning, does Denver overreact? Doesn't look like it. With Bailings, he feels pretty darn safe and is going back into his own droning. Even though he's about to lose both of them, though, this is actually getting a little bit dangerous. There's more Lings to come out for Denver if he really plans to hold this without Banelings. Seems to be okay. Oh, where are the Banelings morphing? Over there.
Up. By the shoreline. A little bit sneaky, a little bit cheeky. All right, so Baneling for Baneling, these can trade out. The idea is the Queen should be able to snipe off one and give Denver that advantage, but This is really interesting the way this goes. Denver has less workers but more income because of the gold base, so he's actually in a pretty nice spot now being up in that third. And he goes for the counterattack. So yeah, my Banelings are fine at home, and he gets on top of the third base of Impact.
They almost weren't, but Impact barely missing on at least hitting one of the Banelings. All three lived, and not great for Impact. He does have some defensive Banelings that are going to be able to protect this third base. About half its health went down, but alive is alive, and he seems to be okay.
Yep, you're right. It's absolutely alive. Lair kicking off, though, for Denver, going to be a little bit faster on his side of the field. If this is just strictly like for his own roaches and speed, that's great. Just the typical ZvZ. God knows if you guys watched WESG, we cast like 40 ZvZs that day. It's how it went every single time. But there's that one small chance maybe we'll see a Spire, depending. Oh, that failing. Not quite going to get the magic hit. Denver runs past, goes to the natural, actually runs through straight to the main.
Annoying to deal with. Shouldn't be that many drone losses. But the third base is like a lot more questionable. It is protected, and it looks like we are on 3 base versus 3 base. Things have calmed down a little bit. Denver accidentally getting a second layer here. I don't know why. Must have forgotten that he got out of the gold base.
That, or he's really convinced it's going to get sniped at some point.
That's not worth it. The backup layer is not worth it. Just for the maybe.
It was a mistake. There's no doubt that that's a mistake.
That's a pretty costly mistake. It's not too cheap to get a layer, but it doesn't look like he's noticed.
Well, he should start roach speed and notice, because it's right next to the layer that he doesn't need to be like, oh, I started roach speed, but wait, my layer's not done.
If the roach warn is right next to the layer that you see is still finishing, you wouldn't click on the roach warn, would you?
That's also very much true. So here's where this second layer may come in handy. Look down to the south. Attack coming on those rocks. Impact's going to try and run into the backside. And it's a long reinforcement point to go from your main down to the bottom right. That gold base is kind of vulnerable.
He did start roach
He started it. Oh my god. You know what? Denver, if you remember when he played versus Impact, he didn't stop Impact's upgrades. He left the Evo Chamber alive with +1, finishing at 5 health, and still won. So he's a guy who can make mistakes, and I'll not hold it against him yet.
Well, the biggest mistake for Denver might just be simply macroing. He's up to 55 drones already, so he's actually not in a terrible position, especially with a gold base, to just start making roaches. And Impact, who is playing this big all-in with no roach speed, no +1, no layer, I don't think it's going to work. Denver already got such a big boost from the gold base. I feel like he's already met Denver or Impact's attack and then some. A little bit of a distraction down to the south. No, Spinecrawler and the Queen's enough to stop that. Denver has equal army supply with about to have roach speed. The only thing he's missing is a couple of Ravagers.
The problem is roaches don't cancel roaches out. You can't send 4 roaches to deal with 4 roaches. You have to send 8 roaches to deal with 4 roaches. So if Impact splits here, Denver could be in the wrong spot, and that could make this very difficult for him. That Overlord does get taken out too. A bit of a supply block. Denver with the superior lead can hold on for a moment, but what I really like are these Zerglings, actually. One of the worst... Oh, no. He's getting so many Overlord kills. One of the worst things about roaches, they are notorious for overkilling. If you have enough lings out, they're fast enough to get to the south. They're also going to be on that front line soaking hits. That's where the Banelings come in for a bit of splash on top of the roaches. Not going to clean out the Zerglings. Denver collapses. Impact's the one down in army supply.
Yeah, he didn't start off ever having an army supply lead, which usually... You have at least like a 10 army supply lead when you start this, and that gives you a bit of a chance, but really like a 20 army supply lead, hell, even 30 if they're really caught off guard is much better for this all-in, and Impact realizes that he is in a world of trouble. This simply just did not work and was never going to work.
That was going to be the 6th Overlord Impact had sniped, by the way, had it died, on top of 2 Overseers.
Yeah, that's a lot of damage done, but it doesn't matter. Denver still had too much of an army. We might have a bit of a weird base trade.
Well, there's an attack into the natural base of Impact right now. Roaches managed to sneak in there and got on top of the drones pretty quick. So this pulls off mining, and even if it's going to get kills, this is a lot of lost income for Impact, who, again, notably down in supply, down in upgrades. In fact, Impact doesn't even have +1 on the way. And Denver, not on top of having +1, is getting Burrow and Tunneling Claws. Impact's going brute force all in with these Ravagers. There's a small chance this works because Corrosive Biles can be amazing, but at this point, economic recovery is out of the question.
I want to say there's almost 0 chance. There's like a 5% chance this will work. Impact has everything going against him. Denver has everything going for him. Even still protecting this gold base, the Spinecrawler and the Queen, reducing so much surface area for each other that a couple of roaches managed to pop out, also get into a neat position. They do have +1. Looks like it's barely not enough, however. And the drones have to be pulled. He's gonna be losing that hatchery.
Oh, no.
Roaches are responding, but yeah, exactly.
Denver's
All of his roaches are responding. There's nothing here.
Oh. Well, it cancels the hatchery, so at least doesn't waste the money for that. Lings go back in for round 2 before roaches plug that hole once again. This is the hatchery, lair that has Burrow finishing up too, so it's really important he actually defended that.
Yeah. Impact has his lair finally on the way, as well as +1 carapace. It's something, maybe.
Oh no, if that's just his lair, I didn't even realize this. He's got no spore crawlers, he's got no overseas. There's nothing to see the tunneling claws on these roaches.
Yeah, he'd have to play it on spore crawlers. He should see the graphical upgrade and at least try and get something, but of course, just more panicked, more, well, hey, there's the tunneling claws.
Oh my god.
More worried about just surviving with a limited army supply.
But he's gonna pop up on the army shark attack, but oh, the banelings hit the roaches. However, there's so many more roaches for Denver. He's sitting on 41 roaches. GG.
Almost
right,
an easy
Denver.
game.
That's crazy. Like, was that just the gold base? Was that Impact dedicating too much to an attack? Like, that was actually nuts how out of hand that got.
Probably a combination of the gold base and the initial defense. I mean, he just got up to the correct drone count so early. He was able to make so many roaches when really Impact should be the only one making that many roaches at that point in time. We see this all-in versus macro mechanic all the time in ZvZ. Never looks quite as one-sided as that, though, because Denver didn't even have to really worry about it. You know, as long as he didn't go up to 70 drones and be, like, stupidly greedy, he was going to be able to defend. That was game number 2, and it's all tied up 1-1. So we're going to take our first break. See you guys in 2 minutes. Welcome back. We now have a new bit boss. Dovin Wolf came in with a lot of bits. Is it 19,000? I think is what it said. That's a lot.
And it slayed the bit boss. Fucking Rurikard threw $300 our way yesterday, and I thought he's gonna be a bit boss for a week or 2 weeks. But what I love about Dovin Wolf, first off, round of applause, hearts and chat for Dovin Wolf, guys. Not only is that generous, it's like for a good cause, because the message with it was a super large bit boss bugs him, and it discourages cheering. So he's brought it back down to like a manageable level that somebody could kill with like $4 of cheers. Like, what a good guy.
That is nice of him. I didn't really I guess I didn't realize the last part and what he meant by that, but that is a nice thing to do. But also super nice just because it gives us some food money, which is awesome.
Hey.
Yeah. So we're continuing our best of 5. It's tied up 1-1 between Korea and Europe. In the bottom right, as the red Zerg for Korea, it's Impact.
And his opponent, the defending foreigner, the kid looking to make a name. In the top left, it's the blue Zerg, Denver. Denver notably has killed 3 Korean players in this tournament. And on top of that, this is a rematch versus Impact. If you guys have missed his accolades, he defeated Hurricane to go into the winner's match of the qualifier group, round of 16, to which then he defeated Impact 3-0, as mentioned before. Then he went on to, that's round of 32. And then in the round of 16, he killed Hero, like Root Hero, ex-CJ Entis Hero. The Zombie Grub and I were both betting on Hero. Like, we didn't think Denver would do so freaking well. But this kid has been not just good, not just all in and cheesy, along with macro plays, like a variety of things. He's also just been hella entertaining to watch. I gotta say right now, Denver's one of my favorite Zergs we've seen in the last month and a half.
He's a very fun player to watch. Unfortunately, falling to DNS is a little bit, I don't know. It's like I don't want to say a letdown, but after killing CJ, ex-CJ Hero, Root Hero, the Hero, it was awfully surprising to see him go down DNS, but there's more of they know each other, they know their weaknesses. They have different styles, of course, Hero and DNS, and now he's made it to the finals.
I actually really think it's probably more difficult to play somebody you've played 100 times than it is to play a Korean player. Like, I don't know if Denver would agree with that, obviously, but in my opinion, like, it's the whole Snoop Mana dynamic too, where you're no longer playing PvZ, you're playing against that person, and that's a whole nother element to the game. So the fact that he lost to DNS, yeah, I'm a little sad because I was super on the Denver hype train, but it's not at all surprising to me either.
Oh, I just got a donation $10. That Twix. That one Twix. The WSG stream is such a joke. Streaming from $110 laptop that can't even keep above 30 FPS.
Oh no, really?
That's unfortunate. I haven't checked in today. I didn't think the production looked bad yesterday, but maybe I just wasn't really paying attention because I honestly watched like 10 minutes of it. But the good news is, yeah, go ahead.
Logo had to leave early. Like he didn't get to stay for the finals.
Yeah.
So he probably took his computer with him.
That's a good joke, actually. Yeah, I was like, wait a second, that didn't finish yesterday. Why is he posting a picture of an airplane? But he just had to leave early. I was gonna say the good news is, whether it's me or Rifkin streaming, and I'm streaming today because he's gonna be playing, we actually have some beastly computers, and it's always good quality here. So,
yeah.
A+. You can watch this in high def with some okay observing. Feels good.
Yeah. I know. Every time Mapu comes in chat, I always get super self-conscious because I'm like, oh, he's gonna see I'm a really bad observer and he knows what's up.
Yeah.
But all right, thank you for that $10, man. Getting back on track for things though, Denver's taken a very odd third, I suppose. Not very odd, I shouldn't say that, but it's like most of the time we don't see Zerg players taking this at the third. I can also say the exact same thing for Impact. This is a weird map that has had strange definitions, and neither of these two bases are the ones we're seeing as thirds.
Huh. Yeah, usually it is this one, but it's more typical for most races, and unless they have a specific plan, either to take the back base or really that's it. Yeah, I was looking at this wall, and he could have made it a full wall. Oh,
it's not quite. These are going to kill one of the queens. That's going to be nice. Not enough energy for transfuses. Impact had to pull so many drones. Such an amateur mistake, but like I can't blame him. That looked like it was walled off.
It really did. I was going to say
8 drones on top of this.
The evolution chamber could have been
main. There's no queens. Oh no.
The evolution chamber could have, should have been on the top side, so it was a full wall off, and then you just like kill it after. You're on 3 bases. You don't really need to exit, but making a huge mistake, losing queen, losing 10 drones. Now officially,
he shouldn't have lost his last 2. Oh my god.
No, he should not have. But the good news is, Impact was at such a drone lead, and he droned through that, realizing that it wasn't anymore. He has an overlord seeing how many lings are on the way. That he doesn't look to take that much damage. His drone counts are still very similar.
I tell you what, though, that's going to fluster Impact. I don't care what type of pro player you are, a thing like that, you're going to feel a little embarrassed, you're going to feel a little frustrated. Like, he's definitely not going to keep his cool super easy peasy through that. But, at the very least, he's still on route for the game to go according to plan, right? Roaches are timing out, layers timing out, +1's timing out. Everything that Impact needs to have going forward is there as a tool. The only weird downside is he'll lose a macro game when it comes down to it because Denver can saturate more mineral patches on his third base than Impact can on his. Remember, guys, the bottom right and the top left bases only have 4 mineral patches.
Yeah. Well, he finally plants down. Oh, Hoster's gonna be denied. Finally plants down that evolution chamber to fully wall off. As I said, like cut his losses, and this walls off both entrances. This right side is a little tricky to get to because you have to go up this ramp, which is pretty far away, but speed lanes are pretty fast. But this is turning out actually maybe okay for Impact. Even again, the drone count being similar throughout that entire ordeal was a good sign, and now his Spire has been successfully denied scouting. The Overseer was just placed in front of like 3 queens, so Denver let it die basically, and I don't know if he's gonna remember or bother making another one.
Oh man, I also forgot to check this before the stream. I just did a quick refresh. We are 98 followers away from 100,000. Ladies and gentlemen, be part of history. If you're not following the channel, hit that follow button. We're about to break 6 digits. It's happening today. We're not going to stop streaming until it happens. Although we're on the front page, so we should probably get it easily before the stream is over. But still, we're not going to stop streaming until it happens.
He still doesn't know about that Spire. The Overseer died once again to queens.
Oh, did it? Oh, I thought it got in there.
No, definitely
right.
not. Still the exact same scout, to be honest. Thank you, Aiken. 2706 for the Twitch Prime sub, but Denver is attacking. He has no idea mutas are going to come out and provide so much extra damage.
The thing is, though, he kind of would have to do this anyways, right? Because if he was sitting at home with the roaches, they wouldn't do anything, and the mutas would just be prompted to run rampant on the drone lines. This isn't going to go well for him, but this is the same thing he would have done in terms of like trying to keep the roaches or the mutas away from his own base. He doesn't have to dedicate to this, but it's better than sitting at home.
Maybe. I mean, If you're already caught in the middle of the map, you might as well commit yes, but if you're caught at home, usually the mutas show themselves to an overlord or 2 or even 3 before they actually start attacking your bases. It gives you really plenty of time to build spore crawlers. They're pretty fast-making structures. This is a complete loss, not just because mutas can tag all the returning roaches, but because Impact already had roaches of his own as well. If this was a scenario where there's only mutas and 10 roaches, Denver is committing probably is a good idea, but the defenses were there, the mutas were there, and that was just a big loss for Denver, who finally makes it back home and has the spore crawlers. He has a couple hydras on the way, but these mutas were very effective for Impact, now getting all those overlords that were slowly retreating.
Tell you what, it's tough to look at that resources lost right there in the bottom right. That's a spicy number.
Yeah. And these mutas, I mean, 9 can actually do a significant amounts to anything they find, basically. They can snipe a queen. They can technically take on a spore crawler if they know the thing's around, but that's too dangerous. They can snipe these hydras popping out. And they're just going to continue getting use. While behind this, Impact grabs a 4th base, centrifugal hooks, and continued upgrades, even getting +1 carapace. Well, supply keeps even for Denver, so it's not the worst thing in the world.
I liked seeing Burrow, but I'm a little bit sad he didn't combo that with Tunneling Claws. I think Denver, outside of the dynamic of mutas for a moment, like he's just really good at doing the roach hit attacks. 4 to one base, 4 to another, sneak him in, get to the mineral lines. You guys know the deal. But also to just deal with the mutas as well. If you can't go through the middle of the map, go under it.
Yeah, that's how this work out really well. Almost same concept as a Nidus Worm. Gold base was always going to be far-fetched. I mean, taking a 4th base in general against the mutas is it's difficult to do. This many, like, not as much. Obviously, he has enough hydras now, but they weren't in position. As they get in position, they get out of position to the main base, and a gas geyser goes down, something that Denver does need.
Impact is playing this so old school, though. He's got so many Baneleys coming out. Speed just finished up for them as well. These are looking to just ramrod right through and kill the hydras.
Yeah. I mean, this many Banelings really makes it questionable for any type of engagement. I mean, Denver, even if he splits, is still going to take so much splash damage. Now Denver just using Burrow, again, that Tunneling Claws is only about halfway done, but using Burrow to just distract Impact and to get a little bit of scouting as well. I think he saw some of the Banelings.
I like Hard Revenge, kind of got mind blown by the finals. We had some phenomenal players playing Season 4 of Ting. It is crazy that the semifinals and finals boiled down to what they were.
Yeah. Well, Denver, as I said, his supply is even. It's not too bad, but he doesn't have a Remax here. And doesn't no 4th base. I don't know if I like the way the Banelings are being used. I've actually confirmed I don't.
Denver's reaction to them were fantastic too. That concave, that split, that was like Terran levels of Marines running for their lives, and he did it so well. Wallace goes on to send an attack into his natural base, and these little stupid blockers are causing a lot of chaos for both sides of this.
I think that those blockers... What's up?
He just brought some Banelings. If he snipes off that Overseer, he might be able to pull off some really cheeky hits on these incredibly clumped up roaches. But
that'd be cool.
That's only if they come back to his side of the field.
So,
oh no, Denver moved 2 hands up the ramp, a little bit blind, takes some bad damage. The Hydra's a little too close to the front.
Well, these... Yeah, they're looking for maybe upgrades. They're actually going to find Tunneling Claws of Impact, so they're going to break through that. But the loss of a lot of roaches, and recall Denver not on 4 bases, can't remax easily. Has to be careful with how many units he's just simply throwing away.
No detection. These Tunneling Claws get through to the main. He's going to split these out. Whoa, there's a lot of Baneleys coming in. Now there's an Overseer, so maybe this will be manageable, but yikes. This is a little bit scary. That Roachborn's so far away from finishing up again. This
is how Denver dealt with Impact last time. His ZvZ is a lot of action all over the place. Just constant unburrowing and burrowing of the roaches. And Impact, even when he had an army supply lead, would simply just fall behind because it'd be 5 minutes before we could even try and use it. He'd be dealing with so many run-bys. 15 drones have gone down. A hatchery has gone down. Now he's still on 4, so, I mean, he's not too bad.
Where is he moving him to? Okay, just know the map. I got a little bit excited over nothing. I was like, he's moving him out. He's going to go for it. He still might set up something really awesome here. The thing is, whether it's the roaches or... Man, I just realized the dynamic here. If those Baneleys of Impact are clumped up and they're in that giant group, you could actually kill like 14 Baneleys with 2.
Yeah, well, we saw that happen already. 20 drones now as these last few roaches are being cleaned up, but more are on the way. But we saw that dynamic over here. The Banelings really just not looking very good. 2 banelings took out like 7 of them, and then all of them running into a concave that Denver was more than prepared for. I don't think he's going to be getting the same opportunity.
He's got them burrowed, or he's got them on the front line. I'm waiting for that sick burrow hype. That Overseer's going to see this coming, though, and he can't stop to snipe because those banelings are hot on his heels. So runs him in. Not the best trade, but gets a good chunk of them. Roach is going to soak the hits for the Hydras.
That still ends up being pretty nice. Maybe a bit more of a split would have been perfect, but pretty close to it.
Goes on, though.
Yeah, the base. That would put Impact down to 3 with this cancel over here, and this is exactly how Denver, as I said, won his last series. More and more Roaches just getting queen snipes now even, and the Impact being a little frustrated trying to chase him. Denver would have enough of an advantage to hold on.
I mean, this is a little bit of an odd situation. So I guess Impact's not really on 3 bases, right? That base he was relying on for so long was the bottom right base, the one with 4 mineral patches. So I quickly take a quick like a peek at the income graph, and it's not so surprising that Denver's been cresting these mountains through these attacks.
Yeah, I mean, in the last 2 minutes, that's not surprising at all. Still doing a bit more damage, a couple more drones. In total, we've had 44 drones killed for Impact. That's so many that he had to remake. And he's only still at 34, so didn't really make a lot of them. The army supply, I mean, if he ever got maxed out, and he's pretty close to it, would just simply be higher than Denver's. But I don't think that would be enough to overcome the bank. This is like so familiar to a couple of their games prior. But Neon Violet Square continuing to be very obnoxious, losing Denver a lot of roaches.
These little blockers are just, oh man, this is the worst map. I'm vetoing this map when I play Jesse. I'm telling you that right now. Like, I'm not getting caught up in this mess.
No. Oh, man. I wish I'd shown you that build that I do, because it's so perfect for this map, but oh well.
You know what's so sick? Lurkers, I just realized, these are the perfect way to line units up for lurker shots, these little squares.
Yeah?
Let's put 1 lurker on the diagonal. Dude, that's just going to run through a whole army in the worst way.
And we do have a lurker on the way.
Yeah, that's why I bring it up. Like, this is so great for Denver if he gets to that point. I mean, right now, Impact, his army supply is dominating, but he's all in. There is not really economic recovery to spike any more bases up. And my fear is Denver might not actually have enough to hold this. Defender's advantage is a hell of a drug, though.
Yeah, I think Defender's advantage is going to kick in. The upgrades are even. The army supply is still pretty damn close. And Denver is the one that has instant reinforcements.
It's 17 Hydras to 10. That's the advantage Denver has. But it's 41 Roaches to 20, and that's what Impact has.
Very, very close here. Denver is trying his best, but he's now running out of his bank. About 20 more Roaches are popping out soon enough, and Impact has to not only go through an entire map, but also these slots on the map. The Neon Violet squares themselves are hindering reinforcements, and actually his reinforcements not so much hindered by that, but just by more harassment. About 20 army supplies to stay back here for what was only 4 or 6.
This gives Denver a lot of time to recover with a very vastly superior income and drone count. 52 drones to 23. He's just going to have money on money on money. And the lurkers are going to be here for both players. It's just the difference is Denver can afford more lurkers.
Impact did send out a lot of changelings, so he sees the lurker den. His is only slightly behind, and he's not being attacked right now, so it will be, you know, lurker war. Maybe Impact could get some pretty nice lined up shots to make up for this army's disadvantage. But he's also going to try and get a couple more drones in there now that he has his 4th base back. Uh-oh. Oh, freebie! That was pretty nice for Impact. Denver at the last second tries to snipe as many Ravagers as possible, and that is the best thing you can do in that situation.
This is, the Ravagers are probably the best way to uproot these lurkers if you really get stuck in a stalemate, because even if you sacrifice them, at least they're guaranteed, well, not guaranteed, but almost guaranteed to get the Corrosive Bile hits. But, this has been such a weird game of unit type advantage. They've both been working with the same tools.
What are these lurkers doing? I mean, okay, I could have sworn they're going to go up here, and now they do. Oh, the whole position was pretty cool to see. Running on top of that. Could have been better hits, but to be honest, those were pretty damn good. Denver was fully committed to that movement.
Denver was also up like a good 30-something army supply going into that. Just chunked down to less than 20 now down. There's, I guess the roaches on the right side are driven off. The lurkers are going to back up, but oh, man. hold position lurkers we don't see for like a whole expansion and then twice within a week, and it's like the sickest plays. I love it.
Denver's looking to do the exact same thing, but Overseers are leading the charge in this army, so it's not going to really work out. He's got to at least get some attacks, and he's still hold positioning them. He tries at the last second to get even a lurker, but it doesn't work out. Really bad trade there for Denver, and he might have held once, but can he hold again after taking just a disastrous loss to the lurkers of Impact? Now, Impact breaking a siege line is still going to be difficult, but Denver's down to 1 lurker.
Well, for now, 5 are about to finish up. I think he'll buy time for that.
Whew. Impact might have been able to actually pounce on that if he wasn't distracted a little bit.
This is where Denver's strengths might shine through, though. So if they're both kind of fortified in stalemate, no one can push each other's lurker lines. Denver is, through all of his ZvZs, really fantastic, and PvZs even, at getting around his opponent to do the harass, to get to the mineral lines, to cause a bit of damage. But I'm just sitting here like, wow, I can't believe he lost that lead he had. That drone count's been carrying him for so long, so hard. I mean, take a look at that income graph. It's almost pushed off any red. Impact is losing out on the income war in such a bad way.
Yeah, and then you can check the army size graph to see just how efficient Impact's been.
Oh, God. You can see exactly where those lurkers hit, too. Even
yeah, exactly. It's a pretty cool graph usage right there. Looks like surveillance mode is also bugged for the protection tab with Overseers. Oh, good to know. Good to know. But surveillance mode for Overseers does exist. They can see in a wider area and don't move. Unfortunately, that's not Denver's Overseer, and it's a single lurker on him.
Interesting that the roaches appear to be able to heal 1 lurker's worth of damage. Well burrowed.
1 lurker is really just not scary.
Yeah, 36 damage to armor, though, is still going to be scary if you got a couple of them. That's what he's got here, but the roaches are spread out really nicely, and Denver's own reinforcements come in after the lurkers are gone. Huge disadvantage now for Denver, despite being on the defense here.
He's on a lot of those frontline lurkers, and now Impact is going to siege up forward with 6 of his own. Denver has to give up this base. He cannot possibly fight in this choke. He also has a large amount of his supply running across the south side. Now, his Overlord C, there's no detection, so it's going to be a free snipe on this base.
He really needs this base, but the one he just lost, this is actually so devastating. Because Denver's top left base is mined out. His natural base is mined out. Like, he's actually not got many mineral patches. That drone lead he had, not going to really matter.
Denver did not leave any roaches to even, get Impact to accidentally cancel, reaction. But instead goes for this base, which he does kill, but doesn't grab him a lot of drones. They're just going to transfer to that newly finishing gold base. Grabs a couple over here, manages to get out just barely. A single lurker was there too, helping out.
I guess he was hoping this would draw Impact out of position, and now he can move in with that army on the left side, coming down the middle of the map. Take out those bases he didn't take out before, but Impact is responding in this weird little choke thing. This funnel's not where he wants to be.
Yeah. Man, Denver, with how often he's been attacking into this area, I really wish he had broken down these rocks. There's 2 sets of them, but it doesn't take that long if your army's maxed out.
I kind of think that's also one of those habitual things, right? Like, you haven't done it enough for that to be regular, but he does find positioning here to cancel a base out of Impact. Impact, equally as bad, needs these bases. Denver and Impact are going to be knocked down to a really terrible income with the current bases they have.
Yeah, a couple roaches.
Impact, Denver's long distance mining.
Yeah. And Impact is chasing a couple of roaches, now using that army to snipe this base. It is getting desperate. Lurker's actually doing a great job over on the right side here, and Denver barely holding on the left side, saves that gold base, but now going to have his, I guess, well, this section doesn't matter anymore. This was his 3rd, and it's already mined out.
It's like a gas base at this point. It kind of sucks to lose it, but you'd rather long distance mine this than minerals. He does manage to pretty much get the last few mineral patches here because they're so low. He's continuing to push in on the right side, by the way. It's a small amount of, or not right side, excuse me, middle of the map. But it's heading towards that gold base. And he gets the positioning on the lurkers. It's kind of like Siege Tank sieging up first. He gets that burrow off. First line of spikes goes to him.
But it's so much action all over the place. A successful cancel, at least, to save that money on this side, but the gold base was necessary. This attack kills the Roach Burn. It's also going to be able to take efficient trades against only what is Hydras here. It's a big waste of money. Looks like the Lurkers are successfully retreating, and they are the most important thing in this game. The possibility of their efficient trading is so good.
Both of these guys are just catching each other with their pants down. I'm surprised anybody has anything left to fight with. They're both on like last legs type thing, but Impact has a much better mining base set up than Denver, so recovery is better for Impact, potentially.
Yeah, Impact just simply had a bigger bank from the time that he did have those 2 bases up and running. So still with 1,000 minerals on the bank, he's quadruple expanded.
Oh,
that is 4 building hatcheries.
That was such an expensive trade for that lurker. Oh my god.
Things are not looking great for Denver. He really needed another base. He needed this gold base to just not be touched at all. And then maybe he's in a fine position because he's been taking okay trades. But with Impact able to quadruple expand to a lot of healthy bases, he just needs to actually get his drones moved over there and he will be good to go. In fact, I don't think Denver has scouted this bottom left base for a while. So that could be a nice little hidden base that isn't ever going to be touched.
By the way, quick shout outs to Wade for those bits earlier. Sorry, man, so much been going on, but glad to see you enjoying the show. Thanks for the cheers.
I don't know when Denver got +2 Carapace, by the way, but at some point he's had an upgrade leading these fights. But it's less about an armor upgrade and more about those lurkers. I don't know if that was a kill or a cancel. He's lost. I've lost count of how many hatcheries have died.
So the drones got picked off by that one lurker there. They had all stacked up in the mineral patch, so 7 went down with a couple of swipes.
Impact has to be a little careful about just letting his lurkers be, like, you know, pieced off like this. One there, one over there. They are expensive gas as well, and that's something that Impact is missing. You might be able to get a lot of base and instantly transfer drones, but it takes a while to actually remember and then saturate gas geysers, which he's only just now done on this gold base, for instance. But he is getting that mining going, and this is something that Denver needs to stop if he has any hope to win this game.
Well, Denver's supposed to get wrecked in his natural base, because while he attacks over here, Impact's got a big force coming in on that side too. And Impact can afford to lose this, but hell, he can afford to lose another hatchery. Noted he like full expanded. I don't know how he's turned the tides of battle. I guess just on the superior amount of lurker engagements here. Denver's resources lost are just so far behind. He doesn't have income anymore, although he did have it for the first half of this game.
Oh, pulling drones. That was really weird. Think about burrowing and then couldn't. Let's snipe the overseer, so now we can burrow, but engagement over here is not something Denver intended to take. GG, finally called. Damn.
Whew. All right, you know what, folks? Normally we wouldn't do a commercial break after one game like that, but that was like a 25-minute game. So we're going to hop to game 4 in just a moment. But before we do, we'll be back in a couple of minutes. Be sure to check out the sponsors while you're waiting, bttv.ting.com. We'll see you guys soon.
All right, we're going into game number 4. Impact took the lead at a 2-1 last game, going into Ascension to Ire for what could be the last ZvZ.
I wholly and entirely believe that Denver has it in him to bring this to game 5. But I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Folks, he has quickly become one of my favorite Zerg players. I'm rooting for him, absolutely. In the top left, on his last life in the Ting Open, it's the Red Zerg, Denver. Playing for Romantic Gaming.
In the bottom right, as the Blue Zerg, oh, it is Impact. He won the first game of the day by doing an early pool and is looking to do something similar. Now, that very first game of the day, he did go pool, then gas. This time, gas, then pool, so a lot faster on one of the other, speed or banelings. Probably speed.
Also, guys, just while this kicks off, because this will take a moment, we should probably do a little bit of love to the sponsors of the tournament. Also, it's kind of required of us to do so. So just quick mention that if you guys are a U.S. resident, you're watching Twitch on Wi-Fi all day, and you don't go out of your house much, then Ting might just be perfect for you. To pay $25 or less each month on your phone bill. Basically, you can try it for a month for free by going to bttv.ting.com, claiming that, I guess, credit or whatever you want to call it, and giving it a shot. They sponsored this tournament for 4 seasons running, and gosh darn it, I want a 5th.
Ooh. Well, a 5th would be awesome. This is turning into the Super All-In, which is also awesome. Denver almost held last time. Almost, but the timing of this is going to be a little bit different. As I said, like the speed going to be a little bit faster. Baneliness still going to accompany, but he could play this a little bit differently. First game, the order a little bit different, sure. But also the way that he chose to utilize it, you know? He didn't wait for speed. He didn't sneak off 2 links to the side, which I'm not doing again here, but He just attacked, showed it to the Overlord, and attacked the hatchery, and that was kind of it. And then took a while for Speed to finish, too, so Denver could pull the drones and try and battle it out. Speed will be finishing as Impact goes basically on top of the hatchery. Oh, he didn't actually dodge out that Overlord. Not well enough. Tried really hard to, but did not.
Well, that's where we're going to see the ceasing of drones, perhaps. Queen's on the way, though, and Speed. I think what really sucked was, was it the first game of the day? There was no Speed for Denver. Made it a really tough fight. The fact that he will actually eventually get Speed this game means it's a lot more doable.
What? He knows it's all in. Why is he sending that drone out? Okay.
Maybe he was hoping to bait blings, even for a few seconds, buy time. Or maybe he really didn't see it coming. I don't know. He did start the spine crawler. The Queen goes down, not in a position to fight. Uh-oh. Denver, no, not like this.
This is looking real bad.
He's up 7 drones, guys. He's up hatcheries. Like, he still has wiggle room to die, so to speak.
He might have also been searching for banelings with that drone, which doesn't matter. The banelings were coming, just not from that direction.
This is actually looking pretty good. He's got those spine crawlers finishing up. Well, I take that back. The Queen dies as I say that. He spreads out the drones to try and keep them alive. The spine crawler is going to die. No banelings for Denver. This is looking pretty rough.
This looks like game over as the Lings do pop out. They die instantly. And Impact is continuing to reinforce. Even Drone Drilling's not going to be able to save him as he goes down to 4, 3, 1 drone. That's a game.
Drone is the one that ran away, by the way. That's the only drone that lived. You coward! GG. Ladies and gentlemen, Impact will take the series 3-1, placing 3rd place in the Ting Open, and Denver finishing 4th.
Well.
Sad for me as my Zerg hero dies. But also, I was hoping they'd go to Game 5 so I could just push off playing against Jesse a little bit longer.
No. You play now. How do you want to do this? Do you wanna...
So here's what's going to happen, guys. We're going to go to a sponsored break. We're going to play some in-stream videos for Ting. While we do that, we'll get Jesse and myself set up here on the call. Screen regions are going to go to hell, so just good luck, Zombie. Forget about that. Because Jesse and I will do a little smack talk session since that's the vote that won on Twitter. It might be super cringy. It might be hilarious. Who knows? But then after that, we'll get going with our best of 3. For those who don't know why this best of 3 is happening, you're like, look, I only came here for pro play. I really didn't come here to watch garbage people play StarCraft. This was one of the Match Arena rewards. We hit $5,000 on the prize pool, and this was the reward for it. So if you're really not interested in this, a best of 3 between me and Jesse will probably take maybe half an hour, 40 minutes. So if you're going to leave, just make sure to come back for the finals. Best of 9, Neeb versus DNS. The best player in the foreign scene, Neeb versus DNS, who's arguably pretty good. I just don't know where he measures up to Neeb in PvP.
I don't even want to talk about the finals yet, man. I want to talk about how Rifkin doesn't even measure up to Jesse. Or something like that.
Excuse me, this isn't a Zombie Girl versus Rifkin shit talk session, okay? This is going to be a Jess versus Rifkin shit talk session.
Just an example. It was the first 2 names in that order that popped up into my mind.
It's okay, I forgive you. All right, so like we said, guys, sponsored ad break when we get back. Hopefully we'll have Jesse and myself ready to go. We'll see you guys soon.